443 players entered. 59 players took home a piece of the $665,000 prize pool. The tournament grind was long as every player battled hard to make this TV final table. A couple of students, a couple of pros, and a couple of entrepreneurs were the last ones left standing with a shot at almost $160,000 and the Empire State Poker Championship. Now, as we continue from the Turning Stone Casino Resort and Spa, 3 players remain. Tonight, we anoint a new HPT champion.
They come from all walks of life, each with a story to tell. All they need is a chip and a chair. It's an open casting call for those who love the game. This ain't your weekend home game. This is the HPT.
Sit right down, put on your poker face. You with the big dogs now. Better bring your best game. Talk trash all you want. To me, it's all the same. You won't leave with much when you come in second place. I'm the one with the stack showing 7 to the jack. Gonna cry to your mama cause I'm sending you back. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. Last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand.
Welcome to the HPT from upstate New York at Turning Stone Resort and Casino in Verona, New York for the exciting conclusion of the Empire State Poker Championship. I am Chris Hansen, and the man to my left would run for president if it wasn't for all the skeletons in the closet. He is Fred Bevel. Now, Fred, we had 443 players that started this main event. We went down to 6 to start our final table, and we're halfway to an HPT champion. Wow, a lot of action.
This has really been a fun final table to watch. The 3 players left have all enjoyed the chip lead, and they've also all had to grind back from being the short stack. There's been a lot of action at this final table, a lot of big calls, a lot of big bluffs, and of course, as always, a lot of heartbreaking eliminations.
We were very close to having a very young champion tonight on the HPT. 19-year-old Samuel Panzica was on track to win this HPT championship until he ran into Randy Pfeiffer's pocket queens and his night was ended. Then it was Jeff Braverman who couldn't hit one of his 2 overcards after Evan called his all-in with pocket 4s. And finally, one of the most colorful players we've seen at an HPT final table, George Hedelakaitis, saw an ace in his hand, and that was good enough to get all the chips in the middle. Bernard Lee then made the easy call with his pocket jacks, sending George to the rail in 4th place. So, Fred, we're halfway to a champion. Let's meet the 3 remaining players and then get right to the action.
In seat number 1, the chip leader, Evan Lampreia from Woodstock, Ontario, Canada. He is a student as well as a budding young professional in the game of poker. His favorite player is Daniel Negreanu. Been playing the game 5 years, learned the game online.
Been playing a long time, but a pro since 05. This is Bernard Lee. Find him on Twitter at Bernard Lee Poker. Fred, he's got a lot of followers, and Fred right now, he is following behind Evan and Randy. He is our short stack.
In the 6th seat, this is Randy Pfeiffer, a professional poker player with over $320,000 in career earnings. His wife Jessica and he are celebrating the arrival of their new baby. Congratulations on that, sir. Plans to use his prize money on his daughter's education.
All right, here we go for the prize money tonight. First person leaving with $52,000. Our runner-up takes home $88,000. Our champ tonight walks away with $157K.
Evan has got 47% of the chips in play. Closest to him is Randy with 37% of the chips in play. Bernard Lee looking to double up and do it sooner than later.
Can we pipe in some music or something like that?
Blinds continuing on at 60 and 120,000 with a 10,000 chip ante.
Bernard Lee on the button. And looking down at Queen 10, he will fold. This is Bernard's 2nd HPT final table. Made the Championship Open final table last season on the HPT.
Randy wakes up with wired jacks, and he's going to raise it up to 290,000. Action's now on Evan, also with a wired pair.
280,000. 280. What did you start with the hand?
2.3.
Come on.
And he is going to go all in, and Chris, Randy quickly makes the call, and why wouldn't he?
Absolutely. Pocket jacks, 3-handed, against a guy who's been pressing all night long. And Randy makes the call with the best hand. He's got Evan crushed. Randy facing elimination here.
So 3s versus the jacks. Yeah. Oh, nice hand. Doesn't have my straight code.
Well, if Randy's jacks can hold up, he will double up to over $4 million in chips. Otherwise, Evan, if he can find lightning in a bottle here, he'll knock Randy to the rail and be a huge chip leader.
The flop is Queen 4-9.
Jack still
So far,
in the
so
lead.
good for Randy.
Let's go ahead and see the turn.
And the turn is an 8, and so now Evan needs a 3 on the river.
And if you're Randy Pfeiffer, you hate the river
That river card.
because the river's always the bad street.
He doesn't even want to look. The river is a 5. Randy, check it out. You just doubled up, my friend, and got some of those chips back from Evan.
Send the wife Jessica a text. Honey, I'm going to be a little later than I thought. Randy Pfeiffer now with over $4 million in chips.
Blind 60 and 120K. So we come to you from Turning Stone Casino Resort in upstate New York.
This time, Evan Lamprey, the by far most aggressive player at this final table, wakes up with the best drawing hand in poker. Big slick.
On the button. And pumps in 280,000.
280.
Raises the 280,000. 280.
To Bernard with pocket sixes.
Once again, Bernard with a small pair facing an Evan Lamprey raise. He is going to just ship it in.
Raises all in. 3 raise all in. Fold from Randy and a call.
And a call from
Evan
Evan.
makes the call.
And so Bernard is going to be in a race for his tournament life here with pocket sixes
for
versus
Bernard.
ace king.
Ace king going up the sixes, against the sixes rather.
That is Sam, Evan's girlfriend, hoping to find some paint on this flop.
The flop is 3, 5, 10.
Bernard Lee's pair of sixes are still the best, but he still has some outs to fade.
It is time to see a turn card, please.
And here comes the turn for Bernard's tournament life. It is a queen.
Oh my, now it's just getting really thick. An ace, a king, or a jack is the card that Evan will hope to find on the river.
And the river is a 4. And Bernard is going to double up with his pocket pair. And so Bernard Lee, the man with arguably the most experience at this final table, gets his double up.
My name is Evan Lamprey. I'm from Woodstock, Ontario, Canada. I've been playing poker for about 5 years, and I learned from my brother initially, and then putting in a lot of hours online has really helped me improve my game. I'm pretty excited. It's my first live final table, and it's my first tournament with the HPT. Well, my family at first, they didn't really accept the whole poker thing. They wanted me to get my degree and work, but it was actually after the 2010 main event where I got 46, and they saw how amazing the game truly is. It was televised on a couple hands, and that's when they first accepted poker.
Evan plans to use his prize money for his education and to take poker to the next level. Don't we all want to take it to the next level? And with that double up, Bernard is now our chip leader.
All 3 of these players have enjoyed the chip lead. They've also been in the unenviable spot of short stack at this final table. Right now, that belongs to Evan, and he wakes up with 10 jack offsuit. I don't think Evan has ever called a poker hand in his life. He's going to raise it up here.
Raises it to 260,000.
Queen, jack, suited for Bernard. Hosts his own radio show, does a column for the Boston Herald. Also host of ESPN's Inside Deal. Stay away from our jobs, Bernard.
It's just a matter of time. Weak ace is the holding for our second stack, Randy Pfeiffer. He's going to make the call.
3 players to the flop. Let's go ahead and see the flop, please.
All right, so all 3 players will see a flop together as we approach 1 million chips in this pot. It is 3, 7, queen with 2 clubs.
Great flop for Bernard Lee. He's got top pair in a 3-handed game. That is gold. He's going to try to see if one of these players will do the bidding for him.
And here comes Evan on the button. And just like a cat to the milk dish, here we go.
Evan is stacking up the chips, and he is going to fire out 380,000.
Absolutely. I would expect nothing less.
380,000, 380.
And now to Bernard with his top pair.
What to do, what to do.
There's now 1.19 million chips in the pot. I would expect Bernard to raise here, probably at around 700, 750,000. He knows that'll get Randy out of the pot. I'm sure he's only really worried about Evan on the button.
Well, he's going to be cagey, Chris. He's just going to flat call the raise.
All right, here we go. Let's see the turn. And the turn is an ace.
That's a scary card for both of these players. That might be an action killer.
Bernard's first to act.
Bernard checks.
He checks. And to Evan. Perhaps putting another bullet in the chamber.
Well, Evan with a gut shot straight draw, hoping to find a king. Firing a second bullet is something this young man does quite often.
770,000 is the bet. Over to Bernard.
Bet is 770K.
And now Bernard really on a decision. He flops top pair, then check calls. And now he is going to check call again.
And this pot is now a monster, 3.1 million chips in it, and hanging in the balance our chip lead at this final table.
Go and see that river card.
The river is another 3. Bernard first to act.
Bernard's got the best hand right now.
Bernard checks. Over 2.
And Bernard is going to check, trying to keep this pot as small as possible. Fred, the question is Evan ready to put more chips into this pot with nothing but jack high?
Well, he is grabbing chips and not his cards. One bullet didn't do it. 2 bullets didn't do it. Maybe a third bullet will do it.
Evan bets. Bernard quickly calls.
Evan makes a bet in the amount of
1.2.
Evan won't show his hand, so Bernard
1.2.
flips over his card, saying, is this good enough to take the pot?
No, it was a call. It was a call.
Evan
It was a call.
then
It was a call.
mucks, and sure enough, Bernard is going to win a huge pot,
need the
and his
original
chip
bag.
lead is now enormous.
1.23.
Evan tried to sell the ace. Bernard wasn't buying it. Hung in there with second pair. And now he's the man stacking the clay.
You know, yesterday on the golf course, Bernard and I had a lot of time to talk about him just barely missing the Epic Poker League qualifications. And he said, season number 2, I will get in. He needed roughly around $250,000 worth of winnings over the next year to get his card next season. Fred, if he could take this tournament down tonight, he would be well on his way to getting that card next year.
Call.
And a call.
Evan Lamprey gets it all in the middle with pocket fours. Bernard calls him with King
11.
Jack, and he gives the kids a kiss
King of
and
diamonds,
gets ready
jack of
for the
clubs.
showdown.
Hoping he can kiss Evan goodbye. These two have played at each other all night long at this final table. All right, here we go. Evan's tournament life on the line. It's 9, 6, 8. Evan ahead with pocket fours.
No love for Bernard on that flop. He's going to need to find some paint on the turn in the river.
Go ahead and see that turn card, please.
And the turn is a queen.
Well, Bernard gets a few more outs. Now he picks up a straight draw, so a king, a jack, or a 10 will send Evan to the rail.
Here we go. The river is another queen. And Bernard has doubled Evan up.
All right.
A lot of paint coming on the turn and river, fortunately for Evan. It was not the paint that Bernard was looking for. And so Evan doubles up. On our way to an HPT championship here tonight at Turning Stone. Come back for more poker.
Hi, I'm Randy Pfeiffer. I'm from Cheektowaga, New York. My wife is a nurse. My daughter's 19 months old. It's our first. She's fantastic. She's a maniac. Just no fear at all. My wife, as far as poker, she's pretty supportive about it. I mean, if I'm on a cold streak, she's not really that supportive because she wants me around. I guess that's not a bad thing. Don't have your wife want you around. Now with my daughter being around, my life has changed as far as because of if it's a 4 or 5 day tournament, I want to be home with my daughter. So like next Thursday, I'm leaving for Florida. My mind's kind of all over the place. It is just poker. So it's one hand at a time. You could be in, you could double up, or you could be out.
Randy Pfeiffer, I guess as you could say, is looking for a new pair of shoes for that baby with a win here tonight. But Bernard Lee, after the hiccup there with Evan, still doing just fine. Kind of downhill on a freight train is Bernard Lee right now. Everything's going right.
63% of the chips in play when you're three-handed.
Gotta love your odds.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Bernard does the usual top card spin before he takes a peek, and the good cards keep coming, this time in wire 10s.
Makes it 285,000
Roger,
and
raise
ace
up
king
285,000.
for Randy.
Both these players have an almost insta-call stack for Bernard being so big in chips.
And Randy is all in. Let's see what Bernard does.
Bernard definitely going to make this call once he does the math on it. Probably make the call even if it's bad math.
On the 285, please.
Something tells me that Bernard's Harvard education is going to push him to calling here. That and numerous years at the poker table. 2.25 million is the call.
That's 1 million in yellow, right? Okay.
285. He went over there. He went all in. He raised all in.
I call.
Bernard
He
makes the
does
call.
make the call, and he's going to
Bernard
find
has
that he
pocket
is
10s
ahead
going
going
up.
to the flop, but
He's
he's got to fade some outs. It's a race.
We just get monsters.
Bernard's
Once again, the
pocket
kids
tens
get a
in the
kiss
lead,
from
going up
Dad.
Against Randy's.
Here comes the flop. It is Queen 4 Jack.
Wow.
Everything but an ace king on that flop for Randy.
Well, now Bernard does not want to see a set. That'd give Randy the Broadway straight. Bernard hoping 10s are going to be good through the river. He'll go heads up with a huge chip
Go ahead
lead.
and see the turn card.
And the turn is another queen, and Randy will just not go away.
Well, that giveth and taketh outs from Randy. The 10 is now dead for Randy. That would give Bernard a full house, but he's still got a jack to double pair the board or an
Go
ace
ahead
or a
and see
king.
The river.
And the river is an ace. Oh, no.
Bernard gets the beat on the river, and Randy Pfeiffer going to double up. And everybody in the room just kind of shocked right now.
That's Sam.
And what can you say? Absolutely. We said it at the start of this hand. You got to get your cards to hold up. You got to get your cards to come from behind. Randy just outran him there on the river.
The classic race this time went to Randy Pfeiffer. Bernard Lee still with a great chip lead.
But he was that close to being heads up for his first HPT championship. Queen Jack for Bernard out of the small blind.
And Bernard going to raise it up, makes it 285,000.
285,000. 285.
It was 2005 when Bernard Lee became a professional poker player, same year that he took 13th at the World Series of Poker main event.
Randy calls with Jack 9, Chris Hansen's favorite hand.
Let's go and see the flop.
In this case, he is absolutely crushed. Bernard's got him out kicked.
I can tell you, I've been there. And here is the flop. It's Jack, Deuce, 10 with a couple of clubs.
Well, both players flop top pair. Bernard's got the best of it, though, with the queen kicker.
And the 41-year-old from Wayland, Massachusetts is first to act.
And he is going to fire out. Bets 390,000. And oh boy, Randy with his top pair and weaker kicker is going nowhere. He's going to call.
Let's go ahead and see that.
Okay,
turn
here
card.
comes the turn as we play for $157,000 tonight on the HPT. The turn is a 3.
A harmless 3. Bernard way ahead now.
Will Bernard slow down? You're going to keep the pressure on Randy. Trying to get some of those chips back from the double up that he just stole away from Bernard.
Almost 600,000 is the bet.
570,000. 570.
And Randy is just like a paper cut, just constantly nagging at you.
Randy makes.
He makes the call. Usually people are calling for 2 reasons, trying to keep the pot smaller, setting up a huge bluff on the river.
Oh, and that is the card to bluff. That is a great scare card if Randy was trying to steal this on the river here.
Another club comes in the form of that 4 of clubs. Boy, you would think, man, was he open-ended? Does he have top pair just like I do? Do I have him out kicked? Was he on a flush draw the whole time?
Bernard checks.
Well,
both
Bernard
players
checks.
check.
Randy is going to check as well, and Bernard is going to
Check,
get
save,
some of those
4,
chips
8,
back
pair,
from
jack.
Randy.
And Bernard does
Jack
the
of
fist
diamonds
pump. He
shown by
is
Randy.
ecstatic, stacking over 2.5 million in chips there.
Now kicks.
Thank you.
Bernard wins. Okay, fellas, that is the round, the end of that
Bernard
level.
checked. I wonder if a big bet from Randy would have scared Bernard off the pot. We'll never know. Blinds continue at 60 and 120,000.
All right, Evan is first to act. Love to see Canadians at our final tables. Queen 4 for Bernard. Bernard with almost $2 million in career winnings.
Ooh, something we haven't seen Bernard do at this final table yet. Raising with a less than premium hand. Queen 4 makes it 380,000.
King 10 for Randy. Randy's biggest cash ever was $62,000.
Randy makes the call.
And so here we go. The flop is 10-8 Jack.
Well, Bernard has a gut shot straight draw. Randy has second pair, flopping the 10. Right now, Randy's got the best of it, but Bernard is the one doing the betting. Fires out almost $500,000 in chips.
475,475.
Come on.
And Randy is going to fire
all
back
in.
and shove all in.
Randy.
And boy, if you're Bernard, you just really stepped in it, didn't you?
And Bernard is going to fold, and yet the look on Bernard's face said it all. Got myself into a bad situation there, and Randy scoops another pot, courtesy of the chip leader. More poker from Turning Stone Casino in Verona, New York, when we come back on the HPT. Thanks for coming back to the HPT. It's time for our pro tip of the week with World Series of Poker main event champion Greg Raymer. Now tonight, Greg's going to talk about how watching the HPT and other poker TV shows can actually help you at the tables.
So it's really quite common when I show up at a live event to meet a fan, to meet a player that I've never played against before, and they will tell me how I'm going to take you down because I know how you play and you don't know anything about me. And they're saying that because they've watched me play on television. The truth is they didn't really learn as much as they think. When you watch the TV shows, the hands are edited. Only selected hands are shown. Certainly nowhere near all of the hands are shown. And that means they're going to show the big dramatic hands. They're going to show hands where someone tried either successfully or unsuccessfully to pull off a big bluff. They're going to just show the big confrontations when two big hands ran into each other and someone got unlucky. And that's not going to tell you how I play all of the mundane hands. How often do I just raise pre-flop and everyone folds and I take the blinds? Do I do that once every 5 hands or once every 50? You won't know from watching on TV. So be really careful with what you learn from the televised poker shows. There's lots of great things you can learn, but don't think that you're really learning about that guy in particular. Just go for the generic knowledge that you can pull from the hand and the thinking and analysis that you get from the show.
Thank you very much, Greg. Well, I can tell you, Fred, from being on a poker television show, what I can tell you I've learned, I've eaten a lot of buffets in the last couple of years.
I've learned that the limit is 12 shots.
Very good, as long as you're learning something from poker on TV. All right, back to our final table.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun. Wish he was still on the rail.
Action's going to be on Bernard. Pocket 5s.
Bernard, no stranger to small pairs at this final table. This time he's on the button with them. And Razy Daisy, he goes, makes it 385,000.
Deuce 4 for Randy to the muck. And Evan's got King Jack. Is he going to defend the big blind? Like asking a 4-year-old if they'd like a sucker. Heck yeah. Question is he going to raise or just call?
The answer is call. Calls the 225,000 he needed to see a flop.
Let's go ahead and see the flop.
And the flop is 7, 8, 9 with a couple of clubs.
Well, Evan's still got the 2 live overcards, and now he adds a gut shot straight draw. Needs a 10.
What's going on? They both checked. Fred, what's going on? They both checked. Here comes the turn. It's a 6.
Well, that gives Bernard the straight, but I guarantee you Bernard hates that card. When you got 4 to a straight on the board and you're holding the bottom end, you're not comfortable.
360.
Evan bets 360,000.
And Bernard just kind of nonchalantly, one chip at a time, tosses him in.
I don't think I've ever seen that from Bernard.
String calling.
Is that a string call? I think that's what just happened there. All right, let's see the river. It's an 8, pairing the board. Evan first to act.
And Evan, if he bets on the river, it would be just a stone-cold bluff. He is perfectly capable of that. He's going to check. And honestly, I don't see Bernard putting anything else into this pot. He's going to check behind and see this pocket 5s are gold.
Well, Bernard is making all the right plays he needs to. He just can't beat Lady Luck. That's all. He can beat the other 2 players, but unfortunately, he should be heads up right now if it wasn't for an ace on the river. So he has kept his cool and just keeps grinding away here, trying to win an HPT championship and also become the Empire State Poker Champion.
Well, that's what professionals do. They take their hits and they get back up. Evan Lamprey is also one of those kind of players. He has been up and down on his stag all night long. Hanging in there, though.
He's on the kind of roller coaster where you're standing at the beginning, not sitting. A little different.
Want to get a raise?
385.
Raises to 385,000. Over to Randy.
Bernard Lee, the father of 2.
And he's going to raise it to 385,000 with his little ace. Randy Pfeiffer. It must be in a circle or something, part of the friends and family plan. He is always calling Bernard with King 9 this time.
He does call. Here we go. Let's see the flop. It's Jack 4, 6, rainbow.
Well, Bernard flops the pair. Doesn't really change anything in the hand. Randy still's got 2 overcards.
Bernard checks.
And they're both going to check. Let's see the turn.
Let's go ahead and see the turn.
And the turn is a 9.
Oh, Randy hits his card on the turn. Now he's got the better pair.
Bernard checks.
And he's not going to be checking.
475,000, the bet from Randy.
475,000. Bernard makes the call.
And a call from Bernard. Playing small, just keeping these pots small, waiting for the right time to go for the uppercut knockout blow. A lot of jabs coming from Bernard. And the river is another heart. It's a Jack of hearts.
Bernard checks.
Well, Randy's got the best hand. Bernard has already checked to him. And Randy's not concerned about getting any value on the river. He's happy to just show his King 9 and scoop a 1.7 million chip pot.
Wow, great poker being played here at our final table at Turning Stone Casino. More poker when we come back.
My name is Bernard Lee from Wayland, Massachusetts. Yeah, unfortunately, I missed Epic in season 1 by just 60,000. So it was really, really close. I had the career earnings, but I didn't have the 3-year earnings. And it was disappointing. I mean, to be kind of one of the bubble people was a little bit upsetting. So I've already calculated what I need to qualify for season 2, and it's one of my top goals. No matter how many times you get here, you always want it, you know, and it would be as sweet as the first title, and that's what you live for. This is what we do. Why we play this game is to win titles, and I'd love to pick up another.
We want to talk about a guy who's got himself immersed in the world of poker. That would be Bernard Lee. Right now, immersed with our chip lead is Randy with just under 7 million in chips.
Bernard Lee sitting with 28% of the chips in play. Third place sitting with 20% of the chips in play. That would be Evan Lamprey, who wakes up with Queen 9 offsuit.
Evan will fold over to Bernard. Bernard with Ace King.
Best drawing hand in poker in a 3-handed game. All three of these players have enjoyed the chip lead. All three of them have also had to grind from the short stack.
Bernard makes it $395,000 over to Randy.
Bernard's going to raise it up to $395,000.
Randy has ace-5 offsuit.
This could be trouble for Randy. Three-handed, any ace is a good ace. Randy gets an inventory of Bernard's chips.
Sorry, I just checked. That's right. That's 2-4, just under 2-5 underneath, behind.
Okay.
Yep.
How much is that?
$395,000.
Randy is going to call Bernard's raise out of the big blind. I don't know if Bernard necessarily wanted to call there, if he's hoping maybe Randy would have came over the top and moved all in. Here comes the flop. It is deuce 9-5. Oh, disaster.
Randy has out-flopped Bernard here. Bernard's going to check. Randy's got middle pair, top kicker.
And Randy checks, so we're going to see the turn.
Card, please.
And the turn is a 6. Now back to Bernard.
Bernard with just ace high is going to play it safe. He's going to check. And Chris, I suspect Randy's going to try to get some money out of Bernard here.
$470,000 is the bet.
470,000. 470 is the bet.
And Bernard with just ace-king here. No draw, no pair, just ace high. Will make the call. And Fred, he is getting dangerously close to being committed to this pot no matter what happens on the river.
See the river, please.
River's another deuce. Bernard's going to be first.
Well, the only way Bernard can win this hand is if he can push Randy off of his.
Bernard checks, and Randy, after some thought, will check as well.
Fives and deuces with an ace
I guess
kicker.
it's good you didn't shove. Right?
Ace king is
I would have
shown
called
for
him.
Bernard.
I'm out, right?
And Bernard explaining, well, if you would have shoved over top of me and I would have called, I guess I'm out at that point. I still have chips. And I was wondering pre-flop if Bernard was looking maybe to get all of his chips in with ace-king. Why wouldn't he have been?
Well, Bernard chooses the conservative route, doesn't get crazy with ace-king. A lot of players would, and he's going to live to fight another day.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Queen 9.
Blinds are at 80 and 160,000.
All right, Bernard now with an extreme short stack at our final table. Looks down at ace-9 offsuit.
Bernard's going to go all in at this point. He's not going to mess around with his ace.
Count.
Yeah,
Pocket fives for Randy.
Randy's asked for a count.
1.
Now Randy's going to get another chip count.
Bernard saying, well, I guess now I'm on a free roll because if I would have got them all in there, I'd have just been eliminated.
2. This is 2, and then 40. 2.04, not 2.4. So I don't want to be, yeah, 2.04.
Just over $2 million in chips is what Bernard has left.
And Randy is going to make the call with his small pair.
Oh, it's not
No protection for Bernard.
The call has been
3-7
made by
for
Randy.
Evan. We'll go to the muck.
The call has been made.
small, big.
Yeah,
7-3.
Pocket fives over here for Randy, ace 9 for Bernard.
Hands are ridiculous.
Yeah. Ace 9.
Evan wanted to be
versus
in
the
that
pocket
hand, just didn't
fives.
have the cards to play. And Bernard's going to find he is racing. Bernard is going to need to get lucky here, Chris, or his tournament life will be over.
Bernard goes to the family, and we go to the flop. It is Jack, Queen, Deuce with a couple of clubs.
No help for Bernard here. He's going to be hoping for an ace, a 9, running clubs, or running straight cards.
May I please see the turn card, sir?
And the turn is an 8, and Bernard has got a little bit more wiggle room going to the river.
He lost the flush possibility, but now he picked up a straight draw, so an ace, a 9, or a 10, or Bernard Lee's tournament life is over.
The river's a 4, and that's going to do it. Just like that, 2 quick hands, 2 big aces go down in flames, and so does Bernard Lee.
Let's talk about this roller coaster back here. Up, down, up, down. Give us your thoughts.
Well, I mean, you have 3 really, really good players. it was just a battle. You have tough cards, and so you really have to play a lot. I mean, this was just ridiculous, the cards that we were getting. And, some of the hands just played themselves. Unfortunately, it wasn't my day, and one of these two really good players is going to take home an HPT title.
Randy starts heads up as the chip leader, but Evan is hot on his heels. The championship and almost $160,000 is still up for grabs.
Blinds are 80 and 160,000 with a 20,000 chip ante.
All right, Evan will start the heads-up match, moving over to seat number 2.
Evan wakes up with a wired pair. What a dream for the short stack in the first heads-up hand.
Makes it 380,000 over to Randy, and he's got ace-9 offsuit.
80. What did you say you're playing? 3-9?
I can see it coming, Chris. I can see it coming. There it is. He is all in with his middle ace. Evan is going to snap call with his wired pair. First hand heads up. We're racing for the championship.
Well, it is the kind of hand that you would get all the chips in. I'm just surprised it came down in the very first hand. And if Evan can survive and double up here, we will have pretty much a square one back to start with this heads up and even chip stacks.
Randy hoping to find an ace or a 9 in the window and end the drama.
Let's go ahead and see that flop.
Here we go. The flop is 3 king jack. Evan still ahead with his pocket eights.
Randy with 2 overcards, hoping to find 6 outs on the turn of the river.
And the turn is a 6, and so Randy's looking for an ace or a 9 on the river.
Evan poised to double up. This is going to get interesting.
The river's a deuce, and just like that, we played one hand, and Evan has doubled up. And Fred, we got a brand new ball game. Say goodbye, Randy, to your big chip lead.
I don't think, as far as my wife is with poker, she doesn't really get into it too much, and which I like. I like going home and not having to talk about poker. Yeah, she just wants to see what comes out of my pocket. It really doesn't matter. If I win this money, I have a backer, so some of it's going to him, some of it be put away for my daughter.
Well, the first place money will be extremely life-changing. I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm still in school if I want to pursue that, but it'll help me with schooling funds, and if I want to take poker further, then I'll have money to travel and play more tours.
And I don't know if either one of the players mentioned this, have also arranged for a free buffet for either one of them if they win here tonight.
That's pretty good value. That's a good buffet.
Well, you know, I like to take care of our players. Evan, look at this. It was just a couple of minutes ago. He was the one who was on the bottom looking up, and now it is Randy who is the extreme short stack and hoping to stay alive here at this final table.
Poker's getting more expensive to boot. Blinds are now 100, 200,000 with a 20,000 K ante.
Evan moves all in with Jack-9 of clubs. Randy makes the call with Queen-9 of diamonds. And so if Randy is going to make a run to try to win this thing, he's going to have to double up right here.
Well, he's in a good spot to do it. He has Evan crushed in this hand. They both share the 9, but Randy's got him outkicked with the Queen.
Here comes the flop. It is 3-7-3 rainbow.
Randy still ahead with Queen high.
10 of clubs. 10.
Let's go ahead and see the turn card, please.
3.
And the turn is a 10.
Evan called it. That gives him a sweat for more outs. Now he needs an 8 for the straight or a jack for a pair.
And the river is a king, and so Randy is going to double up and stay alive. Queen high good enough to win this pot. Randy looks down at pocket eights.
Big hands, heads up. He is going to raise from the button with his wired pair.
Makes it 600,000 over to Evan with ace jack.
No reason why they're not going to get it all in here.
There comes the raise from Evan, the all-in from Randy, and the quick call. As you predicted, all the chips are in the middle. Now let's see what the cards have to say. And Randy is going to be ahead. We've got ourselves a race situation.
1.58 was the re-raise. Okay, Fred. From Evan, 1.58.
Evan hoping to find an ace or a jack to be the next HPT champion. Otherwise, Randy's going to double up in as many hands. And we're going to be right back to where we were when heads up started.
And the flop is 10-6-4.
Great flop for Randy. Not so good if you're an Evan fan. Still hoping to find some paint on the turn of the river.
Let's go ahead and see the turn.
And here comes the turn. It's a 7.
Still no love for Evan on this board. He is going to need to find some paint on the river, or Randy is going to double up again.
And the river is another 7, and so neither one of these players can put the other one under. Apparently, they've got very good cut doctors in their corner. They are able to stop the bleeding when it seems like that bleeding is going to be enough to stop the fight.
Both players have been knocked down to a few million in chips. Both players have doubled up to get right back in it. And now, once again, Randy finds himself with a chip lead.
Ace King for Randy makes a raise to 470,000, and it's Ace Jack of spades. I'm going to call it this time, Fred. All the chips will get in the middle pre-flop.
No question about it.
Matter of fact, I'm wondering what's taking them so long. I would like them to hurry this up. I do have a 7:15 tee time in the morning.
So re-raise.
Evan's going to re-raise it, makes it 1.375 million. That opens the door for Randy to re-raise it all in.
1.375. And a all-in re-raise.
He does. Evan makes the quick call.
Ace Jack over here.
Hey, Chris, when we
for
started
Evan,
this hand,
going
Evan
up
had
against
Randy
Big Slick.
covered by 30,000 in chips.
Wow.
So it's
By
Ace
the
Jack.
narrowest of margins. So Randy is the one who's at risk, and Evan needs Ace Jack to get lucky yet again versus Randy.
Diamonds.
Evan hoping to find a jack or some spades on this flop. Randy hoping
Yeah,
for
please
bricks.
see the flop, Swan.
And here we go for Randy's tournament life. The flop is 10, 4, 9, just one spade for Evan.
Randy still ahead with Ace King.
Let's go ahead and see the turn card, please.
And here comes the turn. It's a deuce of hearts, and so now it's down to just a jack for Evan on the river.
Now let's go ahead and see the river.
And the river is a 4, and so Randy is going to double up, and Evan is going to be left with around 30,000 chips. Wasn't it just a minute ago that Evan was the one with the huge chip lead and Randy was the one on the ropes?
This has been a topsy-turvy heads-up match. Right now, Randy, what can you do? I mean, his opponent's only got 30,000 in chips with 13 million in play.
You call?
I hate to count Evan out so soon, but yeah, I'm just saying.
And there it is, Fred, the chip and the chair that Evan will need to mount a huge comeback here at Turning Stone Casino Resort.
And Evan, a great sport, smiling about it.
Jack 9 versus
Hey,
7,
look at that,
3.
Fred. He's going to go to the flop ahead with Jack 9.
7-3.
I'll just come back.
Double up here, you got 60,000. You double up 3, 4 more times, you're right back in it. Here comes the flop. It is 6, 10, 4.
Well, Randy hits a gut shot straight draw. Needs a 5.
See?
And there it is. The turn is a 5, and that is going to do it. Congratulations, Randy Pfeiffer, the newest HPT champion.
Congratulations to both these players. Very
Give it up for both
entertaining
players. They
heads-up
played
match.
great.
Literally, Fred, we were moments
Come
away
back
from
to you.
either one of these players
give me a
taking down this event.
So what is the future for you after this event?
Well, I start back school in September. I'll probably be playing a couple more of the tours, maybe a couple during school, and then once school's done, next summer I'll be back playing again.
Yeah, you're 22 years old and you just won 88K. Life's not too bad today.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
All right, I'm now joined with Mike Calcagino here, the tournament director, and our newest HPT champion, his name, Randy Pfeiffer. Randy, congratulations.
Thank you.
You are the Empire State Hold'em champion, just over 157,000. How does it feel to take the whole thing down?
That feels unbelievable. It's actually a little bit surreal right now.
Well, with that, Mikey, I think we should pass it over. Oh, yeah. And now it's all real. It's in your hand. How do you feel?
I don't know. A little lightheaded.
Yeah, it is surreal. Well, congratulations to you. You played well, and you deserve it. I want to shake your hand. I know it's kind of hard with all that money in your hand, but thanks for playing well at this final table, and congratulations. I'm sure we will see you again. Chris and Fred, we crown another HPT champion. We'll send it back to you guys to wrap things up.
It was our biggest event ever at Turning Stone and a huge payday for first-time HPT champion Randy Pfeiffer. Congratulations to all of our final tablists. Now, do you think you've got what it takes to come and sit at the final table and win the big cash on TV? Well, log on to hptpoker.com to find out about our upcoming events near you. For James Larson and Fred Bevel, I'm Chris Hansen. We'll see you next time right here on the HPT.